my name is Kim Bagorio and I am a part of Mixed Plate. I will be, dare I say, 51 next month. I was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii. Been transplanted in Oregon for 17 years. I am, like I said, born and raised in Hawaii, and I am Korean Hick. Oh, I'm sorry. My father changed that. So I'm actually Korean Hillbilly. And what I'm going to do next is bring up my next team member, who just happens to be my husband, John.
Hi everybody, my name is John Bagorio, and like Kim said, I am her husband. I am Hawaiian Irish with a Filipino last name. I was born in Boston and I'm extremely allergic to fish. So just imagine what my therapy bill is every month. One of the things I was asked was, what's my role on this team? And well, like any good husband, it's to do whatever my wife tells me to do.
It's to do whatever my wife tells me to do.
Woohoo!
So with that, here's the third member of our team. Sharon, come on out.
Hi, I'm Sharon Gehring, and I have lived in the state of Oregon for the last 38 years, and I'll be 65 in May. So 51 isn't bad.
Yeah.
So I've known John and Kim for about 15 years. We've done a lot of cooking on the sides for church groups and such during that time. And culinary skills, I've never done professionally. I raised 9 kids and just cooked a lot.
Our food truck name is Mixed Plate, and that comes from Hawaii. So a lot of our food is Asian, because I'm Korean, and Pacific Islander, because that's where my husband, that's his ethnic background, and just a little bit of hillbilly, and that's me and Sharon. But some of the menu items we have, and if you've ever been to Hawaii, ever had any type of food from Hawaii, these will sound familiar to you. So we'll have cold somen salad, so good on a hot day with just a little bit of acidity in it. Kalua pig and cabbage. We'll have teriyaki chicken. They're a little speedy, so they're cut up really small. We'll have a Korean dish called bulgogi, which is just basically fried meat with a Korean sauce. But the favorite among the gang, especially my husband, is called meat jun. And meat jun is beef pounded, used with a marinade, dusted in flour, put in an egg wash, pan fried, and watch the guys go crazy. The cool thing about ours is we'll be serving skinny minis, so they're not the regular plate lunches that we would normally serve. What they are is a meat dish and a side of either rice or our famous macaroni potato salad. So we're going to get started with the sauce. All it is just some soy, some sesame seed oil, and sesame seed oil, a little bit goes a long way. And of course, to give it some texture, some sesame seeds. John's going to come up, he's going to prep the meat for you, and we're going to take it from there.
So the meat that we're going to use today is bottom round. And like Kim was saying, this is one of the favorites of my friends. Normally what you do is you could use something to pound it. You could take a piece of saran wrap, lay it over the meat, whack it with a pan. Don't do it when your wife's looking, because it could be one of her favorite pans. I've learned the hard way. This is just a knife that's got a big wide edge to it. And then what you want to do is take out some of your aggression. You know how that guy who always knows nothing about football but seems to win every week on your fantasy league? Yeah, just think of him while you're doing this. Or you could turn it over and think about that one guy or that one lady in the office who always picks the March Madness teams because of the colors of their socks, and she makes it to the finals. Okay, maybe I've overpounded that one just a little bit. But you know what I'm saying. So we take this bottom round meat and we pound it one of the things it does is it opens up the pores so that when we go to stick it into the marinade, it will help it to absorb some of the juices a little bit better, and it allows you to quick marinate so you don't have to leave it in your refrigerator overnight. So all I'm going to do now is stick that into the juice, the marinade that Kim's made a few minutes ago, and we'll just let that get it soak on for just a minute, and then we'll take it to the next step.
My part of the process of this is to get it into the frying pan, which needs to be really hot before you add your grease or your oil. And today we're using vegetable oil, so we'll put some in there and let it get hot while we're going to do the rest of it. You take your meat, drain it, and we're going to put it in a flour and then into an egg wash. So we're going to dip it as good as we can and get the flour on it. Then dip it into the egg wash, and by this time our pan should be really hot. So when you lay this into your pan, you lay it away from you so you don't get smacked with the frying, with the oil.
Ooh, baby, you know I like to hear that sizzle.
That means the pan's nice and hot.
It does. That means that it's going to be cooking nice. And the great thing too is if you can see this, the egg is cooked, it's brown, it's perfect. And one thing that you might want to look at also is if you ever do anything that has a crust on it, if it doesn't want to flip over, it's not ready. So you want to let it sit there, because when it's ready to flip over, it'll tell you, because it'll release from the pan.
Not like that.
No, not quite like that.
Okay.
The reason I picked Sharon to be on my team was because she was the only person that I knew that could be gone for 6 weeks. We went to church together. We've been friends for a while. She's invited me to her house for bunko. She's come to my house for game nights. We have a lot of fun. She's totally no nonsense, but she has a great sense of humor at the same time. So we get along really well, and she can put me in my place. She is a woman of grace. Yeah. And she can even put my husband in his place. The reason that I picked John, my husband, was because he's John, my husband, and he wouldn't let me go anywhere for 6 weeks without him.
I need a plate.
Right there.
One of the great advice my great-grandmother gave me when I was 19 years old said, honey, the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Okay, I want to set the record straight. I am not super ultra competitive. However, the last time we had games at my house, we were playing Mexican Train. I was at the winner's table for most of the night. So, you could take that however you want. Losing is not a part of my character. If I'm going to play, I'm going to play hard. I'm going to work hard. And you know what? I'm going to fight to win, because that's just how we Koreans are.
One of the questions that was asked for us is, are we competitive? And the answer for me is yes. It's been probably 10 years ago we started cooking all-you-can-eat steak dinners around the state of Oregon to raise money for missionaries. And I would often get told that our food is so good, why don't we try one of those barbecue contests? And, the hard part was we never had a free weekend to do these barbecue challenges. And then it happened in 2009, we had a free weekend. So my buddy Ron and I decided we were going to load up the cooker. We're going to travel to beautiful Eastern Oregon. We were going to compete in our first ever barbecue contest. We'd spent all the money, and we got there, and just before we got into the town, I got scared. See, a few days before this, I was with my wife, and I said, I don't know if I'm going to do this. And she said, why not? And I said, well, because what if we go and we just stink? And she said, oh, so you're a coward. And then it was on. So we bought all the stuff, we loaded up the cooker, and we drove all the way to Eastern Oregon. When we got there, I was around the corner from the cook-off site, and I said to my buddy Ron, I said, Ron, listen, if we turn around right now, I'll write the check for everything. Well, lo and behold, they saw us and said, hey, over here. Well, that weekend, we caught our cooker on fire, caught our chicken on fire, but we placed in several categories, and we ended up finishing in the top 10. Now, I won't tell you that there were only 7 teams, but we finished in the top 10. So, am I competitive? You bet I'm competitive. As a matter of fact, for my hobby, what we do is we run a competitive barbecue team. And one of the things that I want to do is I worked so hard for this trophy for 3 years. Well, last summer we finally won it. Now, I don't want to tell you that I've asked my wife to sleep in the other room so I could sleep with this trophy, because I don't want to lie to you. And so we'll just leave it like that. Let me just tell you that me and this trophy, we go a lot of places together.
I wouldn't consider myself very competitive, but I love to win. And when I do play, if I play games with my kids or with my family or friends, when I win, I take that piece of paper, I take it and I put it in the freezer until the next time we play. And they go, oh, I don't remember who won. I bring it out and show them, I am the winner, you lost. I don't know how I'll do that with the truck. Maybe it'll just be the picture of the truck, but we're out to win.
Tell us, why do you want to do this so bad?
You know, I grew up with an immigrant grandmother. And my memories, as far back as I remember, is being in the kitchen and being with family and cooking. And my family has no recipe written down. I remember when my mom passed away about 7 years ago that I freaked out because I thought I would never be able to cook all the Korean dishes that she used to cook. And my poor family. My poor family ate every single dish my mom ever made because I had to recreate and make sure that I remembered how to make that. But I think most importantly is 2 years ago, I had a stroke. And that doesn't define me. And I especially want my son to know, and anybody out there, that you can do whatever you want if you have heart and determination, good friends, wonderful family, and the drive. Having a stroke will not stop me. May slow me down, but it's not going to stop me from trying to achieve my dreams.
And we're
Mixed Plate!